Welcome to 2024. Undoubtedly, this is going to be a huge year for politics, both in the UK and the United States. Now, we will see some huge political upheavals this year, but the question is as well, will we see a change in the enduring woke movement that we have been subjected to for the past 4 years? Judging by the latest news in regards to what the British Film Institute are doing regarding James Bond, yes, British cult classic James Bond is the latest to be under fire from the woke movement. According to the British Film Institute, James Bond films may cause offence to viewers. Before I continue, is there anyone out there who's offended by James Bond? No, I didn't think so. That's because no one's offended by James Bond. The only people offended by James Bond are the people who seek to take offence in anything and everything, and they're actually a minority. But the way that the British Film Institute go on, we're all offended by James Bond. We've been given a blanket trigger warning by the British Film Institute. They are the body tasked with preserving and protecting great British films. Yet here they are, capitulating to the woke movement. Just imagine it. You're going to the cinema to watch your favourite Bond movie that you've probably seen 100 times before, and then you suddenly receive this blanket warning, one you haven't seen before, and it goes something like this. Please note that many of these films contain language, images, or other content that reflects views prevalent in its time, but will cause offence today, as they did then. The titles are included here for historical, cultural, or aesthetic reasons, and these views are in no way endorsed by the BFI or its partners. There is also an additional warning for the 1968 classic You Only Live Twice, which warns about racial stereotyping. Then there is the disability factor, which offends the disabled community, which some campaigners have complained gives physical disfigurements to villains. In the book, the Korean character is also put in the spotlight because it becomes clear that James Bond considers Koreans to be lower than apes. With so much offence going around, how have so many of us managed to survive in the world so far? Come on, British Film Institute. Please, if there are any Korean, disabled, black, Asian, female, trans, whatever people out there who are offended by James Bond, please do let us know. In my view, it doesn't matter what you identify as. If you can actually be offended by a film that was made 50 or 60 years ago, however long ago it was made, and you sit there and you're offended by something like this, the problem is not with the film, the problem is with you. But here's what I think. I don't think there are that many people out there who are offended by this stuff. Nope. This is the woke movement getting its little tentacles into every single institution it possibly can in Britain, whether it's the education sector, whether it's the British Film Institute, whether it's national heritage. Whatever it is, woke needs to have its say. That's the thing about British cult classics though, isn't it? It's part of British culture. You say what you see and then you transform it into something that will entertain your audience. There is no huge desire to cause offence. Look at 40 Towers. 40 Towers is hilarious. If you haven't seen 40 Towers, watch it. Now, there's an episode in there where Basil Fawlty insults the Germans. Now, are there some Germans out there who are going to be offended by that? Probably. But you know what? There is a lot of insults towards themselves. You know, that is part of British culture. It is the ability to laugh at yourself. It is the ability to laugh at others. You know, it's all in good jest. There is no actual nastiness intended. There is a big difference between going out of your way to offend somebody, to hurt them, and simply to speak in jest about something that may be offensive. This is what woke and their followers can't seem to understand. In other words, there is no laughter in the woke world. There is no jokes. There is nothing. None of that. There is only offence to be taken. And now James Bond is the latest victim. I mean, what are we going to have here? Are we going to be looking at a situation where we can't have any disabled villains? We can't have any black villains. We can't have any female villains. We can't have any trans villains. We can't have a single villain who is a minority of some sort. I don't think that Ian Fleming wrote his books with the intention to offend. He wrote his books with the intention to entertain, as the films are there to entertain. So, this woke stuff, this censoring, these warnings, they have nothing to do with causing offence. And they have nothing to do with minorities. I don't even like that word. I don't like using the word minorities because it implies different. No, this has nothing to do with disabled, Korean, ethnic, whatever. It's got nothing to do with that. This is about certain sectors of society represented by the woke movement who have problems within themselves. The issue is with them. It is not with these creative pieces of work. It is not with anyone else. The issue lies with them because they are seeking offence where none exists. And they are seeking to perpetuate their sense of victimhood and send it out into society. That's what they're doing. And in the process, they are generating more hatred and conflict, and they are trying to stifle British classics like James Bond. And whatever colour, creed or background you are, you're not going to agree with this if you are someone who wants a harmonious society which allows people the freedom to enjoy, the freedom to express. We should be allowed to enjoy classics. We should be allowed to enjoy entertainment that was created to make people happy. That's what it's about, make people happy. And people who have problems with themselves do not have a right to then try and infringe on other people's happiness just because they can't sort themselves out. That's essentially what the woke movement is. Finding offence in anything you possibly can to feed your sense of victimisation. It's poisonous to society. It's a total insult to the country. And please, 2024, let's see it gone once and for all.
Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.